Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sarabjit Kaur Saran, teaching at Mata Sundari College in the Department of Psychology, University of Delhi. Module name is Law for Psychopathology. After learning this module, you will be able to understand the concept of psychopathology and mental abnormality, to know the essential ingredients of IPC Section 84 in India. To learn about the mental health care in India, psychopathology is the scientific study of psychological disorders or mental illness. It is the dysfunction of behavior. Mental illness is a legal term, which means that the individual suffer from emotional, behavioral and thought disturbances which affect his mental health and physical safety. A mentally ill person's dysfunctional, emotional and mental conditions, it affects his ability to think and function rationally. So, he requires care basically and treatment. So, there was a rich tradition of legal system in ancient India. The present judicial system of the country derives largely from British system. Psychologists are always concerned with the diagnosis of mental disorders and the treatment of the patient. The court is often mainly concerned with the determination of competency, dangerousness, diminished responsibility and the welfare of the society. According to the section 84 of the Indian Penal Code, if a person does an act which is an offence, who at the time of the commission of that act he is found to be of an unsound mind, is incapable to understand the nature of his act or what he is doing, then such an act is not an offence. Mental abnormality, psychopathology or mental abnormality that is recognized by the IPC. An act which is forbidden by penal law is not punishable by it if it is unaccompanied by a guilt mind. Under the law, psychopathological mind is given a complete defense as he is incapable of forming criminal intent. The foundation of the law of insanity was laid down by the House of Lords in 1843, which is popularly known as Manhattan case. Accused Daniel Manhattan suffered from delusions and he shot and killed Edward Drummond, secretary of the Prime Minister. The accused took the plea of insanity. His medical records also showed that he was suffering from delusions. He was held not to be guilty by taking the plea of insanity. His acquittal caused a huge public uproar. This was the topic of the debate in the House of Lords. So, in consequences of this, 5 questions were framed and put to the House of Lords for clear answers. Answers to these questions are known to be Manhattan rules. The following principles were pronounced by the House of Lords for reply. First, every person is assumed to be normal and possesses a sufficient degree of reason to be responsible for his crime until the opposite is proved. Second, to establish the defense of insanity at the time of committing crime, he is unable to think rationally, did not know what he is doing and that act is wrong. Third, the test of wrongfulness of the act is in the regard to a particular act is committed and not the context of his power to distinguish between right and wrong in general. Section 84 of the Indian Penal Code, more or less, it provides the principles laid down in the Manhattan rules, but uses the word unsoundness of mind instead of insanity, the reason for which is not explained under the code. But there is no difference between the word insanity and unsoundness of mind, as both the terms they refer to the irrational thoughts, acts due to the disease of the mind. The courts in India, they treat the meaning of both of these words as same. essential ingredients of Section 84 in India. If an accused seeks protection under Section 84 IPC, he or she is required to prove unsoundness of the mind at the time of committing the offence in question, that he or she was incapable of knowing the nature of the act or the act was wrong, and this incapability was due to the unsoundness of mind. So, the term unsoundness is not defined in IPC. It means it is a state of mind wherein an individual is incapable of thinking rationally that what he is doing the wrong or contrary to the law. His cognitive capacity was totally impaired or dysfunctional. A person is incapable of understanding the nature of the act at the time of doing it, was ignorant about the consequences of the act. The word is interpreted as a moral wrong and not as a legal wrong. So, since Section 84 uses the alternative phrase contrary to law. And what are the types of insanity? Types of insanity is described by the courts. Survey of case laws explains that the courts are influenced by the fact of the cases, not the nature of the crime. Law divides insanity into two broad heads: dementia, naturalists who are insane from birth. Second, dementia, adventia, or accidentally, person who become insane after birth. Then hallucinations or delusions, they are the false beliefs. Delusions are basically the false beliefs about reality or odd with the individual's current environment. Hallucinations, they are the false perceptions. You are perceiving the world in a wrong way, such as things seen or heard that are not real or present. The Madras and Bombay High Court have held that if a person is merely suffering from delusions or hallucinations but not insane, then he cannot invoke Section 84 in his favor. Next is somnambulism. It is a sleepwalking disorder. The individual walks in his sleep in an unconscious state. There are many Hindi movies they are also showing this type of disorder. If it is proved in the court, it will constitute unsoundness of mind and the accused will get benefit under Section 84. Mental agitation, annoyance and irresistible impulse and fury. Mental agitation is a marked restlessness and psychomotor excitement. Annoyance is the feeling or state of being annoyed and something that makes you annoyed. Impulse is a sudden, strong and unreflective urge or desire to act. So, it is something that causes something to happen or happen more quickly. Fury is a violent anger. Mental agitation, annoyance, irresistible impulse and fury are not indicative of unsoundness of mind and has never been accepted as a defense under Section 84 unless it is attributable to unsoundness of mind. Next is insanity, that is as a result of substance abuse. If a person committed an offence under the influence of drugs, excessive drinking, even if it is involuntarily or by smoking ganja, such insanity will also amount to unsoundness of mind if a person is incapable of thinking rationally or understanding what he is doing is illegal or something wrong. He has to prove that insanity existed at the time of the commission of the offence. However, loss of control due to heavy drinking is not indicative of unsoundness of mind. He is not entitled to immunity provided by Section 84. One of the main points for consideration under this section is that the law is concerned with only insanity that existed at the time of committing the offence, which is important for the accused is to prove that he was insane at the time of committing the said offence. Next is the procedure for trial of persons unsound mind. Matlab which procedure is basically followed during the trial if the person is suffering from unsound mind. So, special provisions that are followed during the trial of an accused who is of unsound mind. Chapter 25 of the Criminal chapter 25 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, it describes the elaborate procedure for the trial of an insane individual. During the trial, if it is appears to the judge that the accused seems to be insane, the trial court conducts an inquiry of the facts of such irrationality and unsoundness. The accused is incapable of understand the defense, and the court comes to the conclusion that accused is suffering from insanity and is unable to make rational decisions. So then the trial is postponed until the accused is treated and is in a position to understand the proceedings and to defend himself. Laws regarding treatment of persons suffering from mental illness. What are the laws which are followed in India? Like tremendous amount of research is done in the area of how to diagnose and treat patients suffering from various psychological disorders. After independence, a large number of acts came into existence for controlling the care and treatment of mental illness. So there are the legislations like the Lunacy Supreme Courts Act in 1858, the Lunacy District Courts Act in 1858, the Indian Lunatic Asylum Act in 1858 with amendments passed in 1886 and 1889, the Military Lunatic Act that in 1877. The acts provide for the establishment of the mental hospitals and guidelines regarding the admission and the care of mentally ill patients. Political parties have also created awareness regarding the various acts dealing with mental illness. Lunatic asylums were regulated and supervised by the government authorities. Provisions of voluntary admission to mental hospital was introduced. Psychiatrists, clinical psychologists and mental health professional workers, they were appointed. Provisions of judicial inquisition for mentally unhealthy patients were given. Mental Health Care Act was enacted in 1887, several provisions of which were implemented in 1993, providing the basic provisions and the right of mentally ill individuals. The Mental Health Care Bill 2013 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha in August 2013, and after 134 amendments, so it was passed and implemented in August 2016 as the Mental Health Care Act 2016. It protects the rights of the mentally ill individuals by providing them access to care and promote justice to mentally ill individuals. Main features of the Act are as follows: right to dignity of patient with mental illness. So this Act has many positive and landmark features if it is properly implemented. Is set to revolutionize the mental health care services in India. Mental Health Act 2016 states that an individual suffering from mental illness should be treated in the same way as any other individual and their surroundings should be kept normal as possible as can be. So they should be treated with dignity. Mental Health Act 2016 grants access to affordable and good quality mental health care to every citizen of the country. Mentally ill patients, they have the same rights as the patient suffering from any other disease, any other physiological disease. So this provision of the Act tries to eliminate the stigma attached to mental illness. The Act provides that basic and emergency physical health and mental health care should be provided at all community health centers. So the government is also instructed to plan, design and implement programs for promotion, prevention of mental illness and to create awareness among people of different age groups about the mental health care and stigma related to the treatment of mental illness that should be reduced through the publicity. Human rights of all the mentally ill patients that should be protected. They have the right to live with dignity in safe and hygienic conditions with adequate provisions for education, recreation and religious practices, etc. So they have the right to confidentiality in respect of their mental health care and treatment and information regarding their treatment Health cannot be released without their consent except in certain specified circumstances. Mental Health Act, it regulates the admission of mentally ill patients to the government hospitals and nursing homes. It protects the rights of the mentally ill citizens who are not in a position to seek voluntary admission. All medical officers, those who are working in government hospitals throughout India, should be trained to provide adequate mental health care treatment to mentally ill patients. The Act further instructs the government to establish and maintain separate psychiatric nursing homes and hospitals for those who are under the age of 18 years of age, who are addicted to drugs or other substance abuse and are undergoing certain behavioral, cognitive and emotional changes, who have been convicted for any offense. It is also advocated to reconsider the ban on unmodified ECT, elective convulsive therapy, which is given to the patient who are suffering from depression or schizophrenia or major psychological disorders, and restrictions are placed on ECT to monitor. Negative features of the Act. Concerns have been raised about the negative fact in psychiatric treatment. The present Act will make every psychiatric uncomfortable with the kind of measure it is bringing in to control mental health professionals, private hospitals and nursing homes. These are required, all these are required to get licenses. So, licensing provision are always perceived as a hurdle in the establishment of services. So, licensing provision has harmed the private general hospitals. They have stopped having psychiatric beds. So, ECT is a very useful method of treatment in many acute and chronic psychotic conditions, but unmodified ECT is prohibited under the Act. Such a ban would stop ECT from being administered at small places. This appears to be based on sentiment rather than on scientific evidence. Families are a great asset in the management of mental illness. Mental health and care should be undertaken in such a way so as not to marginalize them. The law recognizes that individuals of unsound mind are not responsible for their behavior and it should be unfair to punish them. Abnormality alters not only individuals' rational thinking but also their emotional functioning. Mental health professionals view that cognitive, emotional and social functioning should be taken into account when a person's responsibility is determined. So, it is concluded that people with unsound mind are not responsible for their criminal behavior because they cannot recognize the inappropriateness of their behavior and they are unable to control it. Mental health care in India. Mental health care in India started with Indian Lunacy Act in 1912. The Mental Health Act was passed in 1987 and implemented in 1993. In 1911, the Indian Research Fund Association was set up to oversee the medical research in India. In 1949, the Indian Council for Medical Research was established. It is the largest body in India which looks after medical research. So, it consists of 26 national institutes. So, they are conducting research in different aspects of health and also in the field of mental health. ICMR, it has conducted many surveys on mental health and is undertaking research in the following areas: community mental health, natural history and outcomes of studies, child and adolescent mental health indicators, effects of disaster on mental health and suicide behavior. National Mental Health Program 1982 includes the following aims: to ensure the availability of mental health care services to all citizens, especially the underprivileged population; to provide mental health care accessibility to general health care; to enhance community participation in mental health care services. It also provided psychiatry wards in all government hospitals. Under the 9th five-year plan, Government of India started the district mental health programs in 4 districts that included early diagnosis and treatment of mental illness at the district level. It provided training to health professionals in identifying the patients, those who are suffering from mental disorders, diagnosis and treatment. What are the causes, what are the symptoms, and how to treat these patients. It also created awareness among people that mentally ill individuals should seek treatment and may not be stigmatized by the society. It trained mental health professions to keep a record of incidents of unsoundness during the treatment of mentally ill patients. Grant in aid is also provided by central government to ensure availability of mental health care services and infrastructure. Today, district mental health programs running in 123 districts of the country. Rehabilitation Council of India is established to monitor and set standards for clinical psychologists. So, it is mandatory for clinical psychologists to get themselves registered if they wish to rehabilitate of mentally ill patients. National Institute of Mentally Handicapped is set up in Sikandrabad to train health professionals to work in the field of mental retardation. National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience was set up in Bangalore. Central Institute of Psychiatry was set up by the Ministry of Health at Ranchi and Kanke. They cater professional training to clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, and also train mental health workers. Professional organizations and NGOs, those who are working in the field of mental health. There are very non-government organizations, NGOs, they are also working in the area of mental health. They hire health professionals, conduct research and provide health care services to mentally ill patients. They work in the area of child mental health and mental retardation. They conduct research in the field of autism, ADHD, conduct disorder and antisocial personality disorder. They also work in the area of adult substance abuse and alcohol abuse. They provide counseling and rehabilitation for post-traumatic stress disorder and suicide prevention. Bapu Trust in Pune works with women suffering from mental disorders. They provide diagnosis, treatment and rehabilitation to the patients. Most of the NGOs work in creating awareness, prevention and empowerment. A number of professional organizations such as Indian Association of Positive Psychology, Indian Psychological Association, then National Association of Psychology, NAOP, IAPP and Indian Association of Community Psychology, Indian Psychiatry Association play a key role in the field of mental health. They conduct research and help in policy making regarding better mental health facilities. Mental health care policies are important for preventing as well as easing mental disorders. So, these organizations create awareness about different forms of behavioral health services such as counseling programs to teach patients on how to manage mental illness, use of relaxation therapies and how to get rid of unhealthy behaviors such as smoking, alcohol abuse and drug abuse, because all these things are related to the criminal behavior. What is the summary of psychopathology? So, summary psychopathology is basically the scientific study of psychological disorders or mental illness. Mental illness is a legal term which means that an individual suffers from emotional, behavioral and thought disturbances which affect his mental health and physical safety. Psychologists, they are always concerned with the diagnosis of mental disorders and the treatment of the patients. The court is often mainly concerned with determination of competency, dangerousness, diminished responsibility and or the welfare of society according to the section 84 of the Indian Penal Code. If a person commits an offense while being of unsound mind, such as he is incapable to understand the nature of the act, what he is doing, or that he whether it's wrong or contrary to the law, then such an act is not an offense. Special procedure is followed in the courts during the trial of accused of unsound mind. Chapter 25 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, it describes the elaborate procedures for the trial of insane individuals. During the trial, if it appears to the judge that the accused seems to be insane, the trial court conducts an inquiry to try the facts of such irrationality and unsoundness. If the accused is incapable of understanding his defense, the court comes to the conclusion that the accused is suffering from insanity and is unable to make rational decisions. So, then the trial is postponed until the accused is treated and is in a position to understand the proceedings and to defend himself. Human rights of all mentally ill patients that should be protected. They have the right to live with dignity in a safe and hygienic conditions with adequate provisions for education, recreation, religious practices and education. So, they have the right to confidentiality in respect of their mental health care and treatment and information regarding their treatment, and health cannot be like released without their consent except in certain specified circumstances. Under the 9th 5-year plan, the Government of India started the district mental health programs in 4 districts that included early diagnosis, diagnose the patient if he is suffering from any mental disorder, then treat of mental illness at the district levels. So, it provided training to health professionals in identifying the patients, those who are really suffering from any mental disorder, major or minor psychotic disorder, then diagnosis and treatment. So, it also created awareness among people that mentally ill individuals should seek treatment and not be stigmatized by the society. It trained health professionals to keep a record of incidences of unsoundness during the treatment of mentally ill patients. Grant in aid is also provided by central government to ensure availability of mental health care services and infrastructure. Rehabilitation Council of India is established to monitor and set standards for clinical psychologists. It is mandatory for clinical psychologists to get themselves registered. So, if they wish to rehabilitate the mentally ill patient, so it is basically mandatory for them to get themselves registered. So, non-government organizations are also working in the area of mental health. So, they hire health professionals, conduct research, and they provide health care services to mentally ill patients. Thank you.